Roman Theater by Bello and Alexxus Sumption. Shall we?
Come with us as we look at the history of the Roman theater. Today we will talk about Roman drama, including the similarities between the Greeks and the Romans when it comes to theaters, Roman actors and some of the notable ones, playwrights and famous plays, and the characteristics and designs of the Roman theaters. Roman drama was derived from the Greeks. The Romans were known as innovators, not really inventors, as they would take other cultures' ideas and making them better, of course, because now it is Roman. In the case of the Roman dramas, they took Greek works, such as plays and theaters, and modified or improved them to make it their own.
The first recorded Roman drama was at the Ludi Romani, which translates to Roman Games. The Roman Games were held annually starting in 366 BC and went from September 5th to September 19th. These originally were ceremonies to Jupiter, or Zeus in Greek. The Ludi Romani is still performed today for the entertainment of the people. When looking at the similarities between Roman and Greek drama, there are many, yet there are a few major differences. In Greek plays, the violence would be taken off stage. Greeks did not like viewing acts of violence and found it unsavory. Instead, a messenger would come out from behind the stage and tell the audience what has happened. While this was going on, the actor would change their mask to resemble the violence, out of sight of the audience. An example of this would be Oedipus Rex. Oedipus Rex is a tragic play where Oedipus unknowingly kills his father and marries his mother. When he comes to the revelation, he blinds himself by stabbing or gouging out his own eyes. During the scene, the actor would exit the stage and change into the mask with bloody eyes. Unlike the Greeks, however, Romans found this practice dull, and in turn would commit the violence to a slave or criminal. This could mean the person could be mutilated, lose a limb, or even die right there on stage in front of everyone.
Now more on the actors of these great and sometimes not so great plays. Greek actors were highly respected members of the community, while most Roman actors really didn't feel the love. Mostly all the actors were men, and they were referred to as histrions. Each actor would play multiple roles, and they would wear costumes that were simple and easy to change. Masks were a huge part of the Roman theater. The masks were made out of linen or cork. Because of this, very few have survived. If an actor was wearing a brown mask, then that would indicate the character was a man. But if they were wearing a white mask, then the character was a woman. The costume showed the audience who the person was. For example, a purple gown indicates a rich man, a striped toga for a boy, a short cloak for a soldier, a red toga for a poor man, and a short tunic for a slave, and etc. One of the most famous of the Roman actors was Roscius. His full name, Quintus Roscius Gallus, a Roman comic actor that was so popular that his name Roscius became a label used for a particular successful actor. Born into slavery, Roscius gained such renown on stage that he was freed from bondage, and in fact given a gold ring, the emblem of equestrian rank. He was also reportedly very well paid for his talent.
Speaking of famous Romans, we wouldn't have famous actors if they didn't have the authors to write the stories. Two of the most famous authors of Roman plays were Plautus and Terence. Titus Macius Plautus, commonly known as Plautus, He was a Roman playwright in the Old Latin period. Plautus wrote comedies, which are some of the earliest Latin works to have survived. Plautus's most famous play is Menechmi. The Menechmi was a comedy about two twins and a case of mistaken identity. Publius Terentius Afrin, better known in English as Terence, was a Roman playwright during the Roman Republic of Berber descent. His comedies were performed for the first time around 170 to 160 BC. One of Terence's plays was Hotin Timoranos. However, this play has presented academics with some problems, as it is not entirely clear whether Hotin Timoranos is Terence's second or third play, and if Terence's version was more a translation from another playwright or invention on his part. Some other notable authors and playwrights were Lewis Andronicus. He was a Greek slave taken to Rome in 2040 BCE, and he wrote plays based on Greek subjects and existing plays. He was considered Rome's first playwright. Another one would be Gaius Maecenas Melius. He was a 1st century playwright and wrote The Comedy of Manners. Another one is Seneca. They were a 1st century dramatist, most famous for Roman adaptations of Greek plays. Another one would be Ennius, who were a contemporary of Plautus, who wrote both comedy and tragedy.
When looking at the Roman theater design, characteristics include columns, niches, and porticos. The stage was higher in the back and short in the front. This was so that the people in the back could see. All Roman citizens and their guests were welcome to the theater. Around 10,000 to 15,000 people would attend these Roman theater performances.
For reference, the new Amway Center holds about 18,000 guests. So something that long ago and held almost as many people as the Amway for free is impressive.
The Romans innovated on the Greek theater by mainly focusing on the stage, shrinking the orchestra, having a larger backstage area. They were also the first to use curtains to hide the stage before a play. Roman theaters were known for their structure rather than their plays. Originally, they were made out of wood and built on the side of a hill for support.
However, in 55 BC, the first stone theater was built by Gaius Pompeius Magnus in Rome. It was located in an area known as the Campus Martinus, which was located outside the city walls. With it being outside the walls of Rome, the builders could forego the ban on the permanent theater structures. This was the Theater of Pompey, and would be the outline for most of the theaters thereafter, including the ones built today. You may be asking, what else were the Roman theaters used for? And if not, well, you should be. Elaborate plays were not the only form of entertainment in the Roman theaters. Mimes were very popular, and mimes could also include women as performers. Since mimes didn't use masks, emphasis was placed on the look of the mime. They would play both comic and serious roles. However, with the fall of the Roman Empire came the inevitable decline of Roman theater as well. From taking inspiration of the Greeks to designing new stages, With what the Romans accomplished, it's no wonder why societies like this have such a significant impact on society today. Today we talked about Roman drama, including the similarities between the Greeks and Romans when it came to theater, Roman actors and some of the more notable ones, playwrights and famous plays, and the characteristics and design of Roman theater. If it weren't for Roman theater today, the stage productions of today might be extremely different. Thank you.